So, can everyone see and hear me? I have changed my setup a smidge, so slightly worried that sound and whatnot isn't coming through. Hopefully it is. Nuts. Alrighty. Thank you. Also, I'm still in the process of running shop things, but very grateful to everyone who was interested in bun merch or purchased it. Thank you for supporting my convention adventures. Very grateful. Okie doke. Right. So after many other installments, we are back in the Fata Morgana mines. I always want to just plow through and get through as much as we can, but it may not be a super long stream. Nonetheless, we are... Oh. Thank you for resubbing to Bunhell Hakunon. Hello. Thank you very much for 23 months. No, it's the house in Fata Morgana. For a recap of what we've seen so far, well, this could be a long one, we have met the main cast, more or less, through the first 3 doors, and then after going through another door, we discover that what we've been shown is kind of a fanciful fabrication of what actually happened. And... oh, so long! No, time passes quickly indeed. And we discover that the maid is kind of the main character in this story through this door. And also we, I think, have learned kind of the identity of our master, or us in this case. And as we go through to relive the quote-unquote true version of events... Hello, Silent! Welcome back for 29 months, goodness. Let's see, what is the... So funny. In the halls of Fata Morgana, where echoes speak of past, a tapestry of fate unwinds as shadows overcast. Through stained glass, time's light doth dance, in colours bold and keen, whispering tales of love and loss in a world unseen. Thank you for gracing us with your rhymes, Silent. So beautiful as always. Hi, Rankle. We're back to reading Terrible Tragic Story. We aren't through the whole story, so that's hopefully what we'll do today. Is we're going to find out what's happened to the maid after the maid and the master, Michelle, have a terrible exchange. So let's get into it, shall we? And that, I was sure, was the end of me. I am, even now, putting her through a harrowing experience, digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, and laying it all out before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was, even if means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything. because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? You're... Michelle. Yes, my name is Michelle. I'm not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clench her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though, and it's still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Once she's reclaimed herself, that is when I must tell her. Now, let us return to our past. Hold on, I need to quickly... Pardon? Okay. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me, but I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Oh. Stay with me. Are you alright? Oh, thank goodness. You're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's still something in my stomach. No. Oh, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up with the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I'd gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed to be. Sorry, hold on. Beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. I'm going to... Hold on. Hello. Sorry, excuse me. I think... I was worried that the game was bugged. I fear the worst. Let's just make sure that it isn't. Oh, thank you for meeting me at Offkai. I have been doing my best to get a little rest. I hope you've been able to do the same. Excuse me as I restart the game. A bit. No, I'm not mistaken. Okay, cool. That's fine. Many pardons. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for the bun drink water redeem. I will have a sip then. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You looked pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God. I came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand I talk? I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back.
I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go?
Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital, the mansion.
If not, then why don't you stay here?
Here?
Sure. It's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers would be glad to have you. What do you say?
Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult. But I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here.
That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I?
Oh. Wait, how do you pronounce this name? Is it like... Is it like Amade? Or... foreign words. So sorry. taking myself right out of it. Maybe I should look it up. But that's... Was it hello? Is it Amade? Amade? Yeah, bet. Hold on. So it's Amade, right? Hello. I'm doing fine. I hope that you're all doing well also. I think that the game is bugged. I'm not sure how I can fix it, but you know, we'll just leave it as is. Oh, you're looking on YouTube. So kind. So kind, thank you. Also, hold on. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's Amade, and my first instinct is that it's Amade. However, I'm bad at this, so my deepest apologies if someone is named this and I'm butchering the name. But also, hello from Afkai folks. It is I Bun trying to read The House in Fata Morgana. But here we go. No, please. Hold on. Mercy. Hold on. Also, I'm not even sure how to fix it if it's bugged. Maybe it'll go away if we stick with it long enough. Never mind. I'm Giselle.
Giselle? That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home.
I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself.
That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less.
representative, like the chief?
Only a name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I am a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. It wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained.
Then, you believe in God?
That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived. Because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important you keep sight of who you are.
Right.
Now, you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village.
Thank you. I truly mean it. I really, sincerely appreciate everything.
Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village too now, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore.
Okay. So he's Amadei. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more, forget everything that had happened at the Bollinger estate and everything that had happened at that mansion. Forget about Michelle. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left.
My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michelle, who made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive.
What had he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michelle one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. The game is so bugged. Help. Yavit. Yavit. Hold on. Hold on. Oh no. I'm gonna... Yavit. Hold on. Excuse me as I as I hurriedly turn this off again. So if you guys wouldn't mind just amusing yourselves while I try to fix what is happening, I am going to... many sorries. So many apologies. So many things taking us out of the... So cursed. Help. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Uh, well, um, I'm going to. I'm gonna do what I really don't want to do, and I'm just gonna. I'm gonna speed through. I'm gonna speed through the novel to get to where we are. Oh, so cursed. Hi, Mel. Hi, Nelly. It's been a while since I last saw the two of you. I'm gonna do this. I don't know how long it'll take me, but hopefully no longer than a few minutes. That far back, as in right to the beginning of the game? Yeah, no, I'm starting right at the very... It's cool. We got this. This is why I asked if you guys wouldn't mind just amusing yourselves for the time being. So sorry. So sorry. Well, at least I'm getting a forced refresher on what's happened in the previous... this is not what I intended. Well, here's Mel being restless with the white-haired girl. And here is Nelly being jealous. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, a lot of people nowadays like their guys pathetic, so what can I say? Oh, any anime or off-kai Bun story to share? Yes, do you have any stories to share with Bun? About your off-kai adventures? Anything memorable? Any memories or anecdotes? Oh, well, I got to see Key a few times. No, you were fine. He gave me a bag of bags of chips. Various different flavors of Lay's. It was quite delightful. I was very tickled to receive bags of chips.
Okie doke, we're almost at the end of the first chapter. This is so... Ugh. Hold on, I'm gonna... Let's make another save file, just in case. I think we ordered in when we were in San Jose. Mostly DoorDash groceries and whatnot. We did get to have the dogs from outside though, the hot dogs. Hello, Bun is here. Nice to see you too. If you want to hear it, you can. Wait, no, sorry, actually. If you want to hear it, you can hear me fast forwarding through the entire... Yeah. The most violent chapter. Thoughts on the danger dog? It was fantastic, it was great. I do enjoy a good dog. Yeah, you're not missing anything. It's Bestia going ha hee ha ha hee 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 ha 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 ha. Just a lot. It's a lot of that. I'm doing my best to make it through. If you guys weren't there for my reading of this, I was having a really hard time because I couldn't pull out the maniacal laugh. Maybe in the future I will be able to really pull off a maniacal laugh. Sorry. So sorry. I can always turn it off again. There we go. No, it's good. You enjoy the sounds of slaughter in the back? Yeah, I'm quite sorry. But anyway, we meet the white-haired girl again, and our main character, Bestia, is like, oh, she is blind and cannot see my monstrous form. I don't scream in my room because I'm not brave enough. Oh look, more slaughter. It's quite the sound. This is the true recap. So sorry guys, still going. Oh, and we meet Javi. A gloomy boy on the beach. Makes it sound like Bun and Bun Mafia are quite used to slaughter. Laughter sound effects. Chuckling sound effects. Haunting chorus of laughter. His laughing face, so evil. No, you are not supposed to be watching, but no, I'm trying to fast forward my way to where we are in the current story. It just is time consuming, and I apologize. I'm just trying to see if this will work around the bug, because the game was definitely bugged back then. So... so sorry for the interesting sound effects. Anyway, we're just going through the second chapter now, in which we meet the swordsman, also known as Yukimasa, and also Pauline, and Habi. And well, the gist of it is that he is from a foreign country. From his name, you can probably guess where. And he gets washed up, he gets shipwrecked, and finds his way into the mansion. And he is treated viciously, and he like loses his memory and loses his humanity as well, and starts killing many people. And so he thinks of himself as a beast. And so for the bulk of the chapter, we see him represented as this ambiguous, shadowy figure. He doesn't even recognize himself as... Well, we have, here it is. He's out here killing everyone. I mean, this was quite the scene. But you see the way that he thinks of himself versus the real situation. Yukimasa. It's quite the visual, so I'm just gonna put that away again. And he doesn't recognize Pauline either, and so he does something quite terrible to her. He got that crazy eye? He does, indeed. What I want most is to spend a nice, quiet life with you. I don't need anything extravagant. This is Pauline talking, isn't it? Just an ordinary life, slowly growing older, having 3, maybe 4 children. We'd never fight, and eventually, before I knew it, I'd be an old lady. Thinking, it was an uneventful life, but it was the best I could have asked for. That's the life I want. And what about you? This is a cutscene that I cannot skip. Yes, I too wish for a peaceful life with you. And so they go hunting Yukimasa, and they lay waste to the white-haired girl because it's just what happens to her in every world. We also have depictions here of Yukimasa treating sailors with cruelty and just having some terrible inhumane urges. So sorry for the slow progress. But as Yukimasa goes to buy the white-haired girl some fruit, he sees that the rest of the villagers have done a terrible thing to... This is after the cursed noble son and the maid story. So this is chapter 2/door 2. We meet the beast. Anyway, when they kill the white-haired girl, who was basically his last tether to sanity / humanity, he yeah, if you can't tell by the sound effects, there he goes. Anyway, so the let's see. Oh, we reach into the mirror to get a glimpse of the past.
This is taking so long. So sorry. My apologies. You're bad. This is definitely not what I intended for us today, but since I have nothing else to show you guys on screen, you might as well see me plow forth into the third door, in which we meet Jacopo, who is married to the white-haired girl and is treating her terribly, even though he is deeply in love with her, and also Maria, who I like a lot. So the white-haired girl is basically a kept woman. She's not allowed any freedom, and Jacopo he's an asshole. But he's kind of great. And he gives her this little dancing animation. I forgot the name of the wheel, but she treasures it. King of Nowhere. So funny. So they're having spats, and he keeps doing things to make her miserable, and Sasuga, she becomes more miserable. And the one who makes her feel better about it is Maria. Little does she know, but Maria is actually the one who is kind of driving them apart. And this is because she has a grudge against Jacopo. We see some of their past together. How they came from the same background, but came from different, families. And by that we mean familia. So things get worse. He locks her up. Oh, I love Maria. She's great. Can probably tell from the way that I read for Maria that I really like Maria. So terrible, but I love her. So the white-haired girl is like, you're the only one that I can count on. And Jacopo is like, you're the only one I can count on. And Maria's like, screw the both of you. Why are you counting on me? So funny. Maria's like the epitome of so funny. Why would you trust me? So Maria and Jacopo in the past, they were much closer, but just nodding. He was the one to gain power, and she was the one to lose her family. So she's nodding. Maria's scheming. Maria's scheming. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. There's a I've forgotten Jacopo's last name. But yeah, anyway, this is wild. That yes, Berzati. He's so insane. He's so insane. And then like someone comes to lynch him because, he's a businessman and doing businessman-like things, aka driving people out of their homes. The white-haired girl is still locked up and she wants to leave. No, she doesn't. She is also in love with Jacopo, but at the same time, oh, Maria goes into the cellar and finds something
kind of scary. I know what this is. In the future, you guys may also know what that is. Yippee! So she writes him a letter. He goes to see her because he waits for an occasion to see her. And she is not here. Oh, and the white-haired girl has basically lost her mind, so even her letter is a bit falling apart. Oh, the white-haired girl being treated terribly in all of her incarnations. Oh. Maria! Yippee! Nice from you got here. Ah. There she is! This is the real world of mafia. Ooh. And he puts a bullet in her brain. Oh, okay, so after the third door, we have a chat to the man in the painting. I'm just gonna run through. So we as the master, we don't know who this is right now, but we will eventually. There is someone in the painting who is talking to us. And he kind of has a, I don't know, a light-hearted way of speaking. It seems that, oh, I guess we'll just go everywhere? Yeah. We go around looking for the maid. We find, I guess, the remnants of the souls who are in these places. So, Jacopo soul, Mel soul, Beast soul. I'm terribly sorry that we just like spent an hour recapping Fata Morgana. So terrible. My bad. My bad, guys. My bad. At this point, we're still kind of like the lost soul. But, we're going to get on to the other story in which we go up to the tower. Kill the witch, burn her. And so we are told the story of the white-haired girl. Ah, no, my bad. I've done a bad thing, and I have to. I'm gonna save this just in case we lose progress again. Komba. We meet Michelle through the eyes of the white-haired girl. No, so bad. This last hour has just been recapping everything that has happened so far. Not my intention. We're supposed to be making progress. The awkward getting to know of Michelle and the white-haired girl. He is very awkward. He's also pretty restless, to be fair. And the white-haired girl, having been hunted for her witchy appearance, takes shelter in the mansion. There are parts of the story which, of course, have truth, Michelle being in the mansion. However, in this version, Michelle says that his touch basically brings people death, or brings death to wherever his hands go. And so he's a quote-unquote cursed man. And what happens is they get a little closer. And fall in love. He teaches her how to read. And then here they are going up to the observation tower. The white-haired girl. And since they can't touch, they just imagine it. Nods. More tragic romance. You could say that. So, she answers the door for a heathen who tries to attack her. And, he is driven away by Michelle, but cuts him, and some of his blood gets on the white-haired girl, and her health deteriorates, and he realizes that she's going to die. And although he could have killed that man who came to the mansion, he did not. And so the man who was set free went to go and fetch others, and they come and storm the mansion. And so after climbing to the top of the observation tower, the two of them embrace, and it spells the end. And yet somehow the girl survived. And Morgana the witch says that if you want to see him again, I can make that happen. Wink, wink. But yes, so basically you discover that, oh, you are Michelle now. Anyway, you've been fed this story, but there is still more to be done. Something seemed off, because it is. Something is not right. Interesting. Reclaim yourself. It's time to reclaim yourself. Gotta reclaim yourself. You can do it. You have some terrible secrets, but you want to reclaim yourself. Isn't that right, destitute soul? So the destitute soul whose path you've been walking around the mansion, not knowing who you were. You know, you are Michelle, but who is Michelle? If the Michelle in the story you just saw was not real, who is the real you? So in this time, you try to reclaim yourself. And to do that, you basically have to force the maid to do the same. The maid is Giselle. Giselle is who we have been with the entire time. Guess what? We were not with the white-haired girl in this story. The true story involves Giselle. And Giselle is no longer herself, she is the maid. She doesn't even acknowledge herself as being Giselle anymore. So here we have the departed becoming Michelle again. I am not the white-haired girl. I have reclaimed myself. You are waiting for me, he says. Who are you? I am not Giselle, she says. But she is. We know she is. The witch is not the maid. So now not remembering isn't an option. So sorry. We must go forth. I'm gonna save this in case we bug out. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. Something you... are you confused about Michelle being the white-haired girl? No, Michelle, as in the Michelle we know, is a scrawny, tall, white-haired fellow who carries a candle and like haunts the mansion in the dark. The white-haired girl in the other stories, we don't know her name, right? Like her name is specifically not given. We can say that they are not the same. But they share many things in common, including their appearance. So. Hi Top Mev, I'm grateful you enjoy bun merch. Making my way through Fata Morgana. Anyway, we're almost there. We start this part of the story with Giselle, aka the maid. Here we have Michelle, the scrawny fellow I was telling you about. This is us. So we have been going through the story as this person here. We don't know much about him yet because he can't remember himself yet. So we're finding out about what happened to the maid and what happened to Michelle to shape them into what they are now and what has brought them here. Does that make some sense? It has been quite a journey, which I have fast forwarded through kind of haphazardly just now. I'm very hopeful that we will be able to not bug the game out. So hopeful, please. So Giselle is very positive and forthcoming, and Michelle is not willing to have her here. He thinks that she's here for some underhanded reason. Not that he's a very trusting person to begin with, but indeed, Giselle can't be, she can't be straight about the real reason why she's here because she's been banished from the Bollinger house. It's true that she did work for the house, but unfortunately, she didn't come from a noble house or anything. She's a merchant's daughter, and so her reason for being brought into the house staff is because the master of the Bollinger estate, aka Michelle's father, wanted to have his way with her, as guys can do. So she was abused quite terribly by him, and then was discovered by the mentally unstable lady of the house, and she was basically expelled to go and live here. She got away with her life, but, now she's in the middle of nowhere and sent to live with the youngest son. Here he is losing his mind over a painting. Like he gets a bit insane about the painting. And he can't get a proper answer out of her about why she's here. So the two of them cannot trust. They do not trust. Giselle doesn't want to be touched. And she also doesn't want to tell him. But for Michelle, who has also been through a lot,
he can't warm up to someone like that. So they're just at this uncomfortable, strange impasse. Giselle doesn't want to let her family suffer. But, you know, she's been abused. And I dare say the Bollinger estate doesn't give her any comfort. We see talks of Michel being cursed as well. There's someone who keeps an eye on him at a nearby house, so Michel sends a message off to his mother. Anyway, the two of them have their big fight when Giselle goes into his room, something that Michel specifically said for her not to do, and she lays eyes on a painting. A painting that has been destroyed of a white-haired girl. And Michel, who sees this, threatens her with a knife. And Giselle, who is deeply afraid of knives, you know, she can hardly speak. So she runs. She runs and runs and runs and runs. And we recap, basically, the terrible way she was treated at the Bollinger estate. And how she feels... yeah, here's the lady of the house saying, "You seduced my husband." Da, 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 da. And here's her being sent away. And Giselle, who doesn't want to give up. Nodding. She just wants to lay down and die. Okay, we made it. Also, it's not bugged. Fantastic. So sorry. So sorry, everyone. And like, an entire hour later, here I was thinking we could make it in like 5 minutes. Anyway. So here we are, and Giselle wakes up in this village out near the forest, meets Amadei. Finding some hope to keep living. And this is where we are in the story! Yatta! Yippee! We made it! Amadei saying that he technically represents the... Save! Yes, I guess let's save. So hold on. Let's delete that one in case I don't. Okay. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect. But I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that had happened at the Bollinger estate, and everything that had happened at that mansion. Forget about Michel. Oh, we did read this. My very existence threatens that house, he says. Nope, no more Michel. That's enough. The house was, as it had always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest, and any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't stimming around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though. She looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence. Please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach, so for whatever it was worth to escape from his gaze, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window.
Whoa, it's someone new. Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are you?
We hardly ever get visits here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little bit. Please don't let it get to you.
No, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone.
You've got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up?
In particular? Once I decided I was going to stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things, and I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever.
I see. Glad to hear it.
And it's all thanks to you, Amadei.
Keep thanking me like that and my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that?
Lead the way.
That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone.
For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amadei taking the lead, we walked through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residences.
Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village.
When your ancestors lived here?
Oh, no. We were drifters, fortunate enough to come across some decent-looking land, so we stuck around.
How do you know what it was like before, then?
There were a few stone tablets left behind, and based on what we were able to extract from their texts, this area used to be a large city with a booming economy, rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from afar came in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races, speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound.
I had no idea there was a city here.
That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, this city lost everything in just a single week.
What?
People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. This is what the tablet said, though. We have been cursed by the witch.
Cursed by the witch?
Look over there. You see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the fallen bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense, you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place, wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed the city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years, years and years, and she casts her curse on anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess is the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. Now, as you can see, the bridge is gone, and the houses still standing are practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true, though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken root in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
No, I'm fine.
You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is as peaceful a village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering up there.
I know all about the mansion, and who lives there. I was there after all, with Michelle for a full month, but I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witch's curse, Michelle, they're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. I had never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first, I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time, I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Come on, Giselle, play with us. We're playing hide and seek today. Can't, sorry. I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop that. Don't pull on my skirt. Oh, alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching. We'll be down at the square, okay? Got it. See you there.
The kids have taken quite a liking to you.
Amade, you think so?
They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults.
Sensitive?
They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children.
Why, thank you.
I don't think it's so much that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself.
I genuinely enjoy hide and seek, but that's not going to earn me any points.
I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future.
A bright future. I'd never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amade.
Thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids.
Oh, you have children?
Oh, heavens no. I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future.
I see. But knowing you, Amade, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time.
It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who would take interest in me.
You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough.
Do you really think so?
Absolutely.
Then perhaps you could be that person.
Pardon?
I won't pressure you into it, of course, but I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way.
But it's a little soon for me to think about settling down like that.
It is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it.
All right. I have to go play with the kids now.
Have fun.
I wonder if he really meant it. Amade is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Why am I thinking about him now, of all times? That man has no redeemable qualities. Not one. As it turned out, Amade was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon, winter started giving way to spring. On a day when the air still had a brisk winter bite, and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. That day, the village men were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear that something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amade. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else.
Actually.
With a dejected look on his face, he started explaining.
A lord found out about this village.
What?
And he said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply.
That's terrible. What are we going to do then?
We're going to do as the Lord demands. 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else. but it would take time to cultivate the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields?
Of course. This village is my home now, too.
Thank you, Giselle. It will be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this.
I thought the same thing. If we all worked together, we could make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village, too.
Your family has more hands to work the fields.
I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is?
I know you're hiding grain in your cellar.
You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain.
You have more.
No, you have more.
You both have more than us.
When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the village's top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary, and before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill, and it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider.
Come on, get moving.
Stop that! Why are you doing this?
Stop once you've told us everything.
Told you what? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What's this about?
Oh, don't play stupid. We all know it was you.
So welcome, Raiders. Although it's fun, we are reading strife and terrible village circumstances. What was me?
The thief.
They? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative. The man who had saved my life. But in his eyes now,
I thought you were better than that.
Was contempt, anger, scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately, as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening. So I just stood there, stupefied.
There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. This village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the Lord now demands we pay him taxes, even the smallest item lost can have a dramatic impact on a family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke.
Wait just a second. I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think I...
You've been seen in the act.
What?
So long as there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured.
Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying.
You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up.
No, that's not my fault.
Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken.
Amade, don't you believe me?
There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars.
But... no. They're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear.
Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village?
Amade, please believe me. You of all people should believe me.
You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you? Because you had something to hide, correct?
No,
What other reason could you have to avoid me?
Why? How can he say these things? Why won't he believe me?
No. Return the things you've stolen.
I can't. I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have?
I see. So you've already moved the stolen goods. She said she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this?
Rough her up till she talks.
Yeah, she's not getting off that easy.
Give us back our property. Why is this happening to me? Harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village, quick.
Restrain her.
No, get your hands off me.
Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it?
I didn't do anything.
Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything.
No, stop. You've all gone mad. Please, come to your senses. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amadeus' house. He sat coolly in a chair, and they shoved me to my knees before him.
I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole?
And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me.
Do you swear, with God as your witness?
I do. I swear, with all my heart.
You don't actually believe her, do you, Amadei? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible.
Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amadei.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, and she has betrayed her fellow man.
Why are you doing this, Amadei? You were such a good man.
I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you.
Amadei. Of course. Why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village? His family.
The water?
A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me.
And it wasn't clean water from the well though, but grimy, murky wastewater.
I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. And before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively gasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth.
Pull her out. We get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. And keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk.
No!
How unsightly. And to think, I ever considered marrying this woman. We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. Poor Giselle. I was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket, then pulled out just long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in, over and over again. Not a person in that room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I had prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use a loom, something I'd never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people. Perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane. But now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them. And every gargle, gasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes, laced with madness, stared down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. I thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of. Stay with me. Oh, thank goodness. You're awake. Right. What was I just doing? Right. I was in the forest, the verge of death. Then Amadei found me and... We almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do about you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property. He didn't save me. If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with a loom, but there's plenty you can help with. What are you going to make me do? You like to get your hands dirty. And considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. It seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today, to make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else.
Oh, welcome, raiders. We are just having a terrible time. Make yourselves at home. Hello, I am Bun. Dirty. Stays in line. The way they're looking at me. I didn't have to spell it out. No. Anything but that. Please, have mercy.
If you're begging for mercy, that means If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle.
What?
Give back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village.
The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm.
Take your pick, Giselle.
Something of equal value. If I can get that, then you'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear.
If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town.
I think I know where you can get something worth some money. the mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh God, when did I become? You can steal some of that to sell for good money. Such a despicable woman.
You mean the cursed mansion?
You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind?
Anyone who goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse.
There is no witch living there. There is no curse.
Giselle, what do you know about that mansion?
I lived there for a while. Well, for a month.
You what?
The son of a noble lives there. He's human, and he's alone.
A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city?
I presume he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion from the capital to act as a servant. There was plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be more than enough to pay the Lord 5 years' worth of taxes.
Is what you're saying true?
I would not lie. As bewilderment spread through Amade's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Michelle.
You swear there's just a single man living in that house?
Yes. It's only him.
All right. If it turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone. You heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run.
Right. On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure that Michelle wasn't around. Though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite, on the surface, there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons. They were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise.
Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It seems someone really does live in this cursed place. I'm honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door's old. We could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down.
Hold on. There's no need to be barbaric. Did you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves.
That's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, man. You ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door.
Stop it!
It's the damn nobles who make our lives so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it. Break down the door. Please, stop this. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Stop.
All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again and again, and in a few minutes' time it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me. Growing lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest.
It would seem you are not aware whose house you're trying to break into.
The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared from within the mansion.
Surely you know what this place is called.
Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucently pale hair.
So surely you came prepared for whatever you would find.
And his eyes were like two blazing infernos, staring out across the mob.
A demon.
Someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look like something not of this world.
Oh, it's a demon. The rumors about this place were true. A cursed demon lives there.
Demon? Him? Michelle? No, he's not cursed.
Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath the skin as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color, offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, a symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations. Until the moment of your deaths, you shall regret ever coming near this place. No, have mercy. We were just... It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage this house. We're innocent.
Amadei,
please have mercy on us. Give her to me, then, as an offer. Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please. I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse. I swear it. We won't return. Run. Get out of here.
Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amadei, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore.
Don't think I'm helping you.
His voice rained down upon me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about? What I should be sad about? Not even the first clue.
Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned to the mansion to plunder? That you brought those men here to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle.
Yes.
It's true. I persuaded them to steal from you. Are you really so desperate for money that you resort to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought a mob to this house. And they were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself? Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence? Ah, for God's sake. You sicken me. I'm done with you. I'm done. Leave this place and never show your face here again.
As he shouted at me, and I stared into his fiery red eyes, a somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. So he can get emotional like anyone else. And my heart, stripped raw and cast out to sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure.
What? If you want me gone, then kill me! You can do that, can't you? You can use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it right here. Use your power. Take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. What? I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They just walk all over me, laughing. Why? Tell me. Why? Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything. What are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought everything would work out if I could keep smiling. I believed that would make things better. But nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me. What did I do? What did... But you... All I ever did was believe. Tried my best to survive, to always wear a smile. But if everything's going to be my fault, and I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob. And before that, you used my father. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted. But that man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me to... He raped me. What? Again and again. No matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop. Again and again. He threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife, over and over and over again. What? My father raped you? No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So, I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me. Give me a moment. I need time to process this. You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me. Kill me now. Kill me. Damn it. Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything. From the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside. And talk. The light hurts my eyes. That was a door I might have best let stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust hearing about the crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them, and from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, an oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it, even if down that road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, could you please tell me what you did what was done to you at my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion? And what happened after you left? I would like to know everything, from start to finish.
Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me? Even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village?
I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision.
I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. All right. I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie.
Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an Abigail to earn money for her family, of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her, of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. Had heard her pained screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I'd realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. Of that, I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do when I learned my father was a rapist? How was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean?
The wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you.
No, that won't be necessary.
I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now.
I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take any more. I averted my eyes to protect myself.
Why had I taken my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind, so why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers. And above all, my own character, consumed with distrust for everything. I had to face it now, to open my eyes once more, to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering, after all.
Please continue, if you will.
I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe.
I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first, I assumed it would be essentially a private prison.
But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter.
A letter? From whom?
He didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining that there was someone already there. The Bollingers' youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you.
Do you still have the letter?
I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter.
It was anything but.
What?
It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive.
Then who?
My brother, I believe. Either Didier or Georges, but I would guess Didier.
Your brother? Why would he?
I do not know. I can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me.
I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you.
Then why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest.
All right. Giselle resumed her story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face, as she described that night in the rain, listening to the thunder when she gave up on living. And I knew I had caused it. She then told me of the time she spent in the nearby village. How at first, life had seemed wonderful, but in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air as she exhaled. That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this.
Then
What?
You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand. And I start thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do.
Oh. Now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived, when you knocked my hand away.
Because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time.
I had assumed she was simply jumpy from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damned fool I was.
Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me?
I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you.
I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed, couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures, they wound easily. Apologize. Apologize to me. I said, apologize.
I'm sorry.
Again. Put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it.
I'm sorry.
Again. Once more. Get down on your knees and shout it from your gut.
I'm so very sorry. Is that a laugh?
Jeez. You're such a strange man.
Strange? You told me to do it.
Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did. You listened. And you looked quite distressed by what you heard.
I looked distressed?
Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. Sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You faced up to the truth, and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much.
The feeling was mutual.
But for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too.
Apologize? For what?
I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. And for that, I am truly sorry.
I don't understand.
What, do I need to get down on my knees too?
No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You were a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Armadale was probably in on it as well. to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for.
I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway.
You're unexpectedly stubborn.
But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square.
Square?
Square. We were both in the wrong. So, we apologized, and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre Fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore,
I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all of my family, everyone I'd ever come in contact with.
I can. Although, you don't need forgiveness for being his son. Being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that.
You're curious.
What? Curious? About what?
No, not that curious. You're a strange creature.
I'm human, you know.
Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded.
Is it a medical emergency?
It's quite a leap in logic.
You know, I was at my lowest just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all.
I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. Even more unexpected was the fact that I felt relieved to see it.
I really, truly wished I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I had had just a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had let my initial impression of him solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress, or at the very least he appeared to from where I was standing. The shell was, just like me, ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing here in this mansion? All alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you going to keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know?
Be quiet. For the love of God, stop talking already. You always pick the worst time.
Excuse me, what do you mean I always pick the worst time?
No, I wasn't...
Unbelievable. Just when I was starting to think you might actually be a decent human being, then you go and spout this.
No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you.
Who else could it have been?
I was talking to... You know... I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts.
You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse.
Sorry.
Weirdo. What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And if it was, even if he did, please, tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please, if you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with.
Okay. Where should I start, then?
How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed?
That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that.
So, what you said outside was a bluff, then?
It was just a way to chase the villagers away.
Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone, huh?
Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least, I consider myself one. Others would disagree. And the reason for that has to do with my body.
Your skin, hair, and eye color, right?
Right.
Seeing Michelle under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Or inspiring, in fact.
Giving birth to me. It broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I'm oversensitive to sunlight. While a little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside, directly under the sun, for more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago.
Just because you look different from them?
The family's reputation was at stake too. If other noble houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me.
I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have.
I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon.
I thought you looked like an angel.
What?
I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. It never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, You've lived all alone in this dark mansion for 10 years.
It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need.
You big liar. Have you never considered running away?
That's not an option.
Because of the sun?
No, I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched to ensure I don't leave.
Watched?
They can't allow anyone to find out that I am alive, particularly at the Bollinger estate. If I were to run, and they were to find out, I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up that hope now, though. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it.
I see.
You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me.
That's not something that should ever become normal. So, what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me.
You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad.
Don't worry. I want to know.
I can hear the witch's voice.
The witch's voice?
It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy.
Not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well? Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years all alone in one place and you're bound to start hearing things. He seems like a delicate person too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him.
Do I want to know what you're thinking?
I'm here for you.
Hmm?
I've made up my mind. I'm going to stay here with you.
Wait, what?
Don't worry. I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore.
Will you now?
If you hear it again, let me know. Understood? You don't have to be afraid.
I never said I was...
Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master.
Master.
Now, where should we begin? I know, supper. Are you hungry? What should I make?
Slow down, please.
What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate.
You actually intend to stay here? Again? After what happened last time?
Because of what happened. Because of that, we are finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again, from the beginning. And this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master.
All right.
I can stay here, right?
I don't mind.
I'm glad to hear it.
Say.
Yes, Master.
you ever want something from me, could I please ask you to put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things.
I got it. Then here's something to start with. What do you say we open some of these windows?
Open the windows?
Yeah, we don't have to if you think it will cause you problems, but it would be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave.
I wasn't the one who barred the windows.
You weren't?
They were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I am sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the windows shouldn't cause any problems.
Alright then. Can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten this place up. After a few moments of silence, Michelle gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by rusted over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light, like nothing I'd ever seen before, flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now, the ice was melting. We had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us, it was a huge accomplishment. So, we're gonna stop here. Gonna pause here. And nodding. So, we weren't quite able to make as much progress as I wanted, but I think this is a good place for us to leave off. Nodding. Nodding! A lot has happened, but also, one, hi River Ostrich, thank you for the kind words. This game is huge. It's still going. Like, we're not even close to the end right now. But we've made good progress. As you can tell, it took a long time even to just like fast forward to this point through from the start of the game. The synopsis no one asked for at the start. But here we have Giselle, here we have Michelle. They've been through a lot together. We, for the most part, are finding out right now what happened to Giselle. And there'll be some questions that are answered about Michelle also as we go on. It's okay. There have been many parts, so it's understandable if you have been lost up until this point. The everything deepens, that's right. I do feel it's nodding. It's a lot to go through, or it's a lot to process if you haven't just like been there reading it from the start. When I went through FATA Morgana, it took me a couple of days to just like read it through, right? But part of that is because I had the time to spare it, so I blocked it all in. But if you're doing what I imagine you guys in chat are having to do in listening to me read this, is that you might only be able to hear it for an hour, and then you might not hear it again for another 2 months, and then you might hear it again after a month, and then
progress is slow. maybe we like halfway through? Maybe we're like halfway through right now? Worth it for the cozy time? Is it though? Is it the cozy time? As mentioned probably in other after reading moments, I genuinely believe that this is a story best just like read alone when you have the time to do so. But the thing is that a lot of people don't have the time to read this kind of thing now. So I'm glad if you are enjoying it, even if you haven't been around or if you've had to pick up on things in patches. Nods. So Giselle and Michelle's story is still ongoing. We'll find out what happens to them probably the next time we read. I did really want to just like catch up and to let you know that I hadn't forgotten about reading Fata Morgana, because I would love to finish this story. I would love to finish something instead of being so cursed not finishing anything all the time. But it's true that it's lengthy. It's true that it's quite long. So, how do you guys feel about the story? I guess after the synopsis as well, after the recap that I unwittingly subjected you all to. They have they've reached a turning point in their relationship that has gone from misunderstanding to some level of mutual understanding. It's nice getting into the mystery. I'm happy they talked. I'm also happy they talked. They both came away with, oh, I was hasty in my judgment, and oh, this person has surprised me. Things are turning around. Although they had to be miserable in coming here, Giselle in particular. No, it's riveting. It's very... I think it is interesting. Riveting. A riveting story. Nodding. As ever, I don't think that my read-through can do the story justice. But if you do enjoy it, that much I am happy for. Ah. Sighs. Something terrible is gonna happen, but the writing is so good. That's accurate to... That's accurate. for basically everything. Every 10. Oh, well, I'm grateful if you find the reading fine. It's a roller coaster. It is quite, but I enjoy it, and I'm tickled to be able to share it with you in this format. I'm deeply hopeful that we'll reach the end. So, Bun whales. Sorry for wailing in your ears. Someday I will let loose. Yippee. Today is probably not that day, but it's close. We did get close to yelling into the... Oh, please rest your voice. I will rest some, mayhaps. It's...
always wish I could do a better job. But I'm also only one person, so it felt like cinema. I'll take that as a compliment. Yippee. More Fata Morgana. Just going through chapter 2 today, even fast forwarding, reminded me of how harrowing it was a read. I look back and feel like if there was a chapter I wish I could do a good reading of, it's like that one. Is Door 2 with Pauline and Yukimasa. Ah, not enough power, not enough skill, energy, loudness to beast cackle. Like there are entire pages of just his deranged laughter. And I don't know if it's worth doing the deranged laughter, but you know, it's a thought. Maybe someday. Oh. Anyway, we've reached a good place to stop. I'm sure we will pick it up again later. In terms of what I had planned, if anything, I would like to, I think, maybe do like a hand cam stream at some point, so I can show you my scrapbook, my convention trip scrapbook, or maybe some of the merch I managed to drag back with me. Not a lot, but some. I'd probably have to figure out what I would show, if anything. I'm sure there's something that I wanted to show on camera. I don't really have anything too interesting. So mayhaps I will just, I don't know. I'll drag nest. I'll drag a nest the next time. Another ice cream stream down the line. It's very cold where I am at the moment. It's quite bang in the middle of winter, so I'm quite chilly. And it's probably best I don't eat cold things. However, I can't say no to an ice cream stream. I can't say it won't happen because I also make poor decisions. Did Bun ever finish that ice cream? I'm sure I did. Yeah. Nodding. I'm sure I did. If I'm wrong and I turn up, no. It's definitely gone. There's definitely no ice cream in the freezer. Is it because you guys are in hot weather that you'd like to see Bun eating ice cream? I do hear it's quite warm up north. Offers you some of the cold breeze. The Cali summer. Nodding. Sure sounds like it. Anyway, I'm just rotting around here. I'll release you guys into the void and hopefully see you again sometime soon. Thank you for joining me for Fata Morgana today. Always enjoy the deeply awful story and deeply awful characters. You know, deeply awful fond, deeply awful affectionate. Thanks for the good time. Thank you for coming. I hope that it's not a bad time, you know? Just because it's something that I enjoy doesn't mean it's fun to watch, which is always the concern. But I am grateful if you come for the bun reads. They will certainly happen again. Alrighty. Wish you a wonderful eve. Thank you for joining me. You guys take care. And good night.